trouble because I didn't realise the comedy clubs have different nights. Over there, there's like a Puerto Rican night, a Latino night. I was meant to be booked for the UK and Irish night, obviously, but then they accidentally booked me for African American night. I spent 10 minutes pretending I was an albino. It's all I could think of. I mean, eventually I had to fess up to the audience, and I said to them, you know what, when I grew up in Ireland, I didn't have any black friends. It wasn't because I was racist in any way. It's simply that when God set out his ice cream stall of the world, Ireland was the vanilla. That's all we were. God didn't want us to have any outside influence that may have led to hip-hop, or jazz, or any sort of rhythm whatsoever, quite frankly. I think most people have figured out that Irish people don't even dance. We just stand in the same place and we get really angry at the floor. That's all we do. I hate the floor. I hate... And we're joined by lines of people hating the floor at the same time. That's why river dancing is the result of poor ethnic diversity, ladies and gentlemen. And if you like it, you're racist. I mean, I had such an interesting conversation. I said that in Ireland we learned the ancient Irish language of Gaelic, and in that language there is actually no phrase for a black man as such. The phrase is far Gurm. And of course far means man and Gurm means blue. We thought they were Smurfs for years. I mean, I was confused enough about Smurfs. I thought they had something to do with Palestine. They kept launching attacks at Gargamel's cat, Azrael, and they had, you know, that song at the end, Allah, 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 Allah. Bit of tension in Birmingham, fair play. And of course, one of them asked me, surely there is an Irish word for black? And I said, yes. And without even thinking, I told the audience, yes, it's dove, but far dove means the devil in Irish. Yeah, I'm lucky to be here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it was the same. I mean, we don't have any outside culture in Ireland. I mean, we didn't really have racism when I grew up, but we had prejudice. There was definitely prejudice against the gypsies in Ireland, especially amongst the older generation. I'll never forget my grandmother. She would take all the children aside, and she'd just be like, children, don't ever trust the gypsies. They will sell the eye out of your head. And she had a glass eye. It freaked us out completely. I mean, don't get me wrong, we loved this woman. We used to call her Slinky. She wasn't sexy, she just kept falling downstairs. And then I had a Jewish comedian friend. He said to me, Keith, is there any anti-Semitism in Ireland? And I was like, no, there's no Jews. There's only Catholics. I mean, there's a few Protestants, but that's more of a hobby than a religion, let's be fair. And I don't want to give out about different cultures. I shouldn't. I loved in the Americas. I really did. There was only small things that got on my nerves like that. Their drinking culture is very puritanical. Like I remember arriving at my first bar in New York. I was so excited. I ran up to the door of this bar and they stopped me. And I was like, that's a bar. I'm Irish. Get out of the way. And they were like, no son, you don't understand. We need to see your ID, we need to see a passport or a driving license. And I said to them, why? And they said, because here in America, we have a strict drinking age. And I said, I still don't understand. In Ireland, we don't have a drinking age, we have a drinking height. As soon as you get the money on the counter, you are legal, my friend! Every Irishman remembers the first pint he had when he walked up going, hello, can I have a pint, please? How old are you? Does it matter? Not at all, big man, there's your pint. Fucking right. I mean, I'm not here to give out about marriage. I'm not married myself, but I respect marriage. You have to respect marriage. You have to respect any two people who can walk down the aisle in front of all their friends and family and just turn to each other and go, you'll do. Whatever you do, never say that to a friend of yours the night before his wedding, like I did in Cork in January of last year. I swear to you, this is what happened the day of the wedding. The priest was like, do you take this lawful wedded woman to be your wife? You'll do. I do. Oh, Jesus! The priest was amazing, he didn't miss a beat, he just looked up and went, Jesus can't help you now, son. But ladies, if you are going to get engaged or married, there's many things you need to know about the man you're going to spend the rest of your life with. But the most important thing you need to know is whether or not he was into Star Wars when he was younger. You have to know these things. On the day of your wedding, on that day of your wedding, that day you have waited for since you couldn't marry your teddy bear, which is weird, quite frankly. On that day of your wedding, when you're walking down the aisle and all you can hear is that music just going, dun, 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 dun. If your man was into Star Wars, he'd be at the top of the church looking back, and the only thing going through his head will be, dun, 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 dun. At least at the wedding night you get to do the Wookiee thing. Before I go, I'd like to leave you lovely people. I'm heading back to Cork on Sunday, and it'll be nice to go home. I haven't been home in ages, and it's my brother's birthday. That's why I'm going back, and we decided to club together. It's a big birthday, so we decided he really wanted a PlayStation 3, so we said, myself and my dad, we said we get it for him. But what really upset the family, it's his birthday. He said, look, he wanted that really, really aggressive game where you drive around with the clubs looking across the chest. You know what? And I said to him, I am not getting you Tiger Woods golf. I'm just